8 a.m. in a Florida condo. David, a 69-year-old man, who's also the president of the condo association, asks a neighbor to call 911 because he thinks someone's in his home. The police show up, shoot him in the chest, handcuff him behind his back, and drag him by his feet into the elevator. He did not survive his injuries.
The man's only daughter is demanding answers as now, for the first time, we're seeing what happened moments after he was struck by gunfire. This video, obtained exclusively by Local 10 News, shows him wounded and in handcuffs as an officer drags him into an elevator.
Now, based on the picture of this man, there will be no protests demanding justice. There will be no riots in the streets. This happened in February 2022. It's been about an entire year, and this was the first I've even heard of it. The police have removed all mention of the event from their Facebook page. Because, they're still waiting for ballistic tests to see who shot first. Spoiler alert, was one of the cops probably. Guess what? None of that matters. If you want to live a long and happy life, avoid the police at all costs. Police are never there to help you. At best, they can take a report of the crime that has already happened to you. At worst, they'll steal from you and lock you in a cage. Their only tool is violence, and their only solution is fines and imprisonment. Let me explain. This does not mean that if you're being pulled over for speeding on the highway, you should attempt to evade. Oh, for God's sakes, don't do that. I'm talking about avoiding places where cops are going to be. Downtown bars at closing time. Avoid that. Nothing good is happening at 2 in the morning after everyone's been drinking for hours. But I'm also talking about making yourself invisible to cops. This means a few simple things. Make sure the lights on your car are working properly. Make sure your registration and insurance are up to date. Trust me, I hate paying car registration. It's basically a yearly tax on the car that you already paid tax on. It's a scam, but pay the extortion and avoid the police. Don't speed, run red lights, or roll through a right on red intersection. Don't follow too close in traffic, don't drink and drive, and for God's sake, smoke your weed at home and not in your car, if that's your thing. You never want to give an easy excuse for a cop to say, "I think I smell something," and now I have probable cause to tear your car apart and go searching for a crime. These are simple things, but you want to avoid any interaction with police at all costs. If you do have to interact with the police, make it as brief as possible. No small talk. Answer in one-word responses if you can. Be polite, but always remember, they are not there to help you. Now, maybe 20 years ago, you could find a friendly neighborhood cop, but those days are long gone. They wear more battle gear now than the front lines at Fallujah. And since St. George Floyd decided to commit suicide while getting arrested, listen, most of the good cops are gone. They switched careers, they retired early, or they just quit. And I don't blame them. The cops now are not the cream of the crop. Too many enter a scenario with their hand already on their gun. Let's just say they're not hiring the best your community has to offer. They should be avoided at all cost. Now again, to make sure that everyone is understanding what I'm saying, this is not illegal. I am suggesting you be super legal. Don't give them the opportunity to even bother you. You want to appear invisible. They should not even know that you exist. Now, all police cars have license plate scanners. They read every plate as they drive through town, and it will ding when it finds a car that isn't registered. It has mismatched plates, no insurance, stuff like that. Don't be that guy. Some people are still back the blue, now and forever. Well, based on what we're seeing, it might be time to reevaluate your opinions. Are all cops bad? No, of course not. Are all cops good? Sorry, no, they just aren't. Saying back the blue is the equivalent of being racist at this point. Okay, perhaps not racist, but it's a stereotype to the extreme. It's comparable to saying all black people are criminals, or all Jews are bankers, all Russians are drunks, or all Chinese people are good at math. Those are nonsense statements. You'd be an idiot to say that one thing applies to a whole group of people. Therefore, saying back the blue is an endorsement that all cops are good. And that's just not true. I don't support all cops. I would never support all of anything. Now, as we get into spring and summer, you can already see tensions are rising. There will be violence. Cops will respond with even more violence. We're looking at another summer of love, with Antifa riots popping up in major cities all over. This summer will be pretty violent, and cops will need to escalate to maintain control. Now, I can't tell you what to do, but I will be avoiding any protests. I will also be avoiding any cops. Now, we're living in a police state. If you want to secure your livelihood, stay away from cops. Nothing good can come from them. Their only tool is violence. Their only solution is fines and imprisonment. And to be quite clear, I just don't want any of that. Now, bringing it back to that man in Florida. He thought he heard someone in his house, and even though he was legally armed, he called the cops for help. Was that his mistake? That's hard to say. But calling the police did not help him. And if there was someone in his house, he got away because it was never mentioned in the article or in the police reports. So, what do you think? Cops are your friend, back the blue, or avoid them for your own safety? Let me know. Did you find any flaws in my arguments? Go on, set me straight in the comments. I will reply back and we can have a nice discussion if you've made a logical point. All right, I got another video coming later, so I'll see y'all soon.